we would like to present Shia LaBeouf and Natalie Portman in Mutant Chickens of the Sea. Our opening scene, fishing trawlers in the Gulf of Mexico, hauling in all manner of sea life, shrimp, octopi, anything that they can scoop up. Next scene, we see that all the sea life being
mutated by the BP oil spill.
Mutated by the BP oil spill, unbeknownst to the rest of the world, but known to the evil fish meal manufacturer who is grinding them all into fish meal and shipping them just a little ways up the Mississippi Valley to a giant chicken farm where they're being used as chicken feed. The chickens begin keeling over. The chicken farmer, who is a son of the fisherman who brought in the mutated fish in the first place.
And is played by Shia LaBeouf.
Played by Shia LaBeouf in overalls. Desperate at the fact that his chickens are keeling over, calls the United States Department of Agriculture, who sends their top scientist, played by Natalie Portman, to investigate the chicken fainting disaster. For they are only fainting, they have not died. As she is there investigating, examining the chickens, she notices that they seem oddly muscular and large. And they begin reviving as she's examining them and becoming even larger. And they begin attempting to peck her viciously.
I'm sorry, it's I'm interpretive dancing over here.
It's fine, I'm enjoying it. We don't like it. She begins fleeing. She is rescued by Shia LaBeouf in a rattletrap pickup truck. They flee down the Mississippi, wearing overalls. The pickup truck could be wearing overalls. They flee down the Mississippi Valley, with the chickens streaming behind them, clucking and viciously devouring and attacking everything in their path. Louisiana loses its most famous blues musician in this disaster, Bland Lemon Denton, who is scratched, clawed, and pecked to death. But he sings beautifully all during the cameo. Exactly.
Are you like perched in the back of the truck, like in Mad Max with the guitars and the thing?
Exactly. Meanwhile, our top scientist, played by Natalie Portman, is desperately on the phone with the USDA and the CDC trying to figure out what to do about the chicken menaces, what has happened. One of her nerdy friends, the kid back in the control room with glasses, he figures out that there's this connection between the fish meal and the mutant chickens, and the chickens are trying to get back to the sea where they will feed the mother kraken, thus quadrupling its strength, and the entire world will be taken over and devoured.
Dun dun dun!
Dun dun dun! Exactly. They managed to stop at a CDC lab on the way just long enough for Natalie Portman to create a kraken venom, which she tips a harpoon with. If Shia LaBeouf can get her to the Gulf and get her to the Kraken, she can stab it into the Kraken's eye and save the world.
Well, they're
in a race with the chickens.
They're in a race with the chickens. Because once the chickens feed the Kraken, it cannot be stopped. It's all over. It's all over. She barely has time, so they get away from the CDC lab just ahead of the rampaging chicken horde. Just ahead. They get to the wharf. They get to the wharf at the Gulf of Mexico. Shia LaBeouf.
Spoiler alert.
Shia LaBeouf is torn because in order to save the world, he has to kill his father, who is part of the Kraken chicken conspiracy and has been providing the fish meal. Shia LaBeouf has to take his shotgun and kill his father in order to get on the fishing trawler to take Natalie Portman to the Kraken. They make it to the Kraken. Shia LaBeouf, of course, having at this point fallen in love with the plucky scientist who's about to save the world.
Played by Natalie Portman.
Played by Natalie Portman, who of course has fallen in love with the overall farmer who didn't know he was part of an evil conspiracy to destroy humanity. Of course. They find the Kraken, who naturally is swimming towards the mouth, towards the Gulf Delta to meet the chickens. Natalie Portman readies her harpoon, but before she can strike, a tentacle comes up over the side of the boat, grabs her, pins the harpoon to her side, and hoists her into the air. The world is doomed. She can't get the harpoon to its eye. Shia LaBeouf only has one choice. He takes his shotgun, he leaps off the boat directly into the gaping beak of the Kraken. As the Kraken is crushing him to death, he fires his shotgun over and over and over into the Kraken's face and mouth, distracting it just enough. It's a big fucking shotgun. Loosening, thus distracting the Kraken just enough to loosen its grip on Natalie Portman so she can swing the harpoon around and plunge it into the Kraken's eye. The Kraken, blood, frothing water, storming chickens leaping into the water to feed the Kraken, but it's too late because its mouth is full of Shia LaBeouf. Natalie Portman is dropped into the water, and
Shia LaBeouf is like saying goodbye.
And at that point, he's severed in two.
And the soon to be a major motion picture.
She's crying. She is washed up. She is washed up onto the wharf at New Orleans, crushed that her love has been killed, but at least satisfied in the knowledge that together they have saved the world from the mutant chickens of the sea.
Hooray!
Wow, we did not